Did you know that sigils was used in the very beginning of time? And I am still doing research on like how they came up with the sigils, you know? And I've been listening in my free time to Bobby Hemmett. I usually pick somebody to listen to because every day I'm trying to learn something new. Every day I'm trying to gain knowledge of something. Um, and in one of the lectures that Bobby Hemmett was conducting that day was about sigils. And I was very curious, like we have all these different types of sigils, you know, and then we need to be careful what kind of sigils we use, of course, because you want to make sure that not only you have the knowledge but of the sigil, but also the knowledge of the spirit or entity that's connected to that sigil, because our whole lives we've been having to believe that for every action there's a reaction. And when it comes to sigils and magic and spell work, you know, at least when I was growing up, it was like everything has a consequence. So be careful. What is it that you're practicing? Or what is it that you're wishing upon others? Or what is it that you're doing? But being in this shit as long as I've been, um, don't want to change the conversation, but this is also a good conversation. Being in this as long as I've been, I've noticed that it doesn't really fucking matter at the end of the day, because people are going to do what the fuck they want to do. They don't give a fuck about how you think, how you feel, or what you have done. People just don't care. People do things out of just because they fucking feel like it, because they already had set their intention that this is what the fuck they gonna do. Zero fucks about how you feel. So going back to these sigils, I'm still doing research on that mindset. So the mindset of, if I use a sigil, whether it's for good health, whether it's to hex somebody, whether it's to conduct spell work, it doesn't matter, because I'm just doing research on demonology. For so many reasons, because once you're doing research on spirituality, you have to go and research everything. I don't like to just research one thing. I want to understand the whole fucking thing. But going back to the sigils, um, from the beginning of time, these sigils were used to literally take over empires, win wars, fertility, pregnancy, health, sickness, food, changing items, like, you know, the story of Jesus, change water to wine type of shit. Like, once you go into these sigils and you start like doing your research, you're gonna be like, almost all the stories of all these divination work that the Bible doesn't want us to actually do, right, or practice, but it's all over written, right, everywhere, they're connected to these sigils. And it's crazy, because I wonder if till this day they use those sigils to brainwash us. And I'm sure that they do, because there's sigils in everything. There's a sigil for everything, whether it's a flag, whether it's an eagle, whether it's a coquille, whether it's a water bottle labeled. It doesn't fucking matter. Almost everything has a sigil, including like being a doctor, being in the medical field, or being a firefighter, being a police officer, being a lawyer, being a judge. Every single thing is connected to a sigil. Now the question is, because they're connected to the sigil and that holds power, according to my research, what kind of power would a regular human being using all these sigils will have? That's the real question. And were or would they be consequence using these sigils for personal gain? But once again, I know a lot of people are going to be like, you know, personal gain. Okay, I don't want to hear none of that shit, because at the end of the day, people do shit to you no matter what. They don't give a fuck. They already set their intentions. So it doesn't even matter. I don't even think personal gain is even a thing. I think that was said just to control, because remember, everything about this world is like mind controlling. Everything is like a fucking monopoly. Everything is like a checkers board. Everything is a whatever action, you're gonna get a fucking reaction out of it regardless. Everything has its something gonna come, you know, after it. But the question is, how big or would anything at all because of the frequency.